All right, I just talked NFL for like 15 minutes, but we're gonna have another person come in here and talk with me. So I'm gonna try to split this podcast up in two parts on YouTube. This part's gonna be the NBA one. The next part will be the NFL one. So with that being said, we're only gonna talk NBA right now. The parlay yesterday. So I picked the Knicks, the Thunder, and Isaiah Hartenstein to lead the game in rebounds. Two of those hit. The Knicks hit, and Isaiah Hartenstein tied with Wemby. So, yeah. But we got to talk about Wemby, man. Wembenyama, he makes this Spurs team phenomenal. He played 21 minutes, and the impact he had in that game was nuts. 22 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 54% from the field goal, 6 for 11, 1 for 1 from 3. In 21 minutes, he had 9 rebounds. Hartenstein played 20 minutes, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Those were good bets. This was a really good game to watch. I got told. I didn't watch it. I wish I could have. I didn't. I was out in the world dilly-dallying. But the Spurs team is really good. Off the top of my head, I want to say probably just the Spurs are a competitive team. I would take the Spurs over a lot of teams. The Spurs are just Stephon Castle is having an amazing sophomore season. He's very good. Wemby is a monster. Vasil's been playing great. Fox, having De'Aaron Fox on that team it's just nuts. It's really good for the Spurs. And the Thunder lose. They were bound to lose. Plus 11 was probably a lock. I probably should have seen that coming. It would have been a competitive game. I felt like it should have been. But, you just can't bet against the Thunder. You can't. So, went 2 for 1 yesterday. Looking at the games today, Wizards versus Pacers. Now, the Wizards have Coulibaly out, Corey Kispert out. I haven't heard Corey Kispert's name in a while. Chris Middleton's out, Alexander Sarr's out. Looking at the Pacers, Ben Shepherd, Naismith is out. Obi Toppin is still out with a foot injury. Halliburton out, which sucks. Nembhard is questionable with a calf. He has been playing as of yesterday. He played against the Sixers. Now, Indiana by 9.5. By 9.5 is... See, that's tough. Now, if I was going to bet, I would probably take... Okay, this is tricky because if Nembhard does not play, the Pacers are probably the better team still. Because C.J. McCollum, Keyshawn George, Bub Carrington, Marvin Bagley III, Cam Whitmore, Champagne's a monster. Don't get that twisted. Justin Champagne is a monster. 7 rebounds. Best rebounder on the Wizards, probably. Seriously. Trey Johnson. And then you take that and you go Siakam, Jay Huff, Jackson, Jarris Walker, Benedict Mathurin, T.J. McConnell. You kind of just probably tend to like the Pacers more, but to win by more than 10, I don't know. I will go. This might be crazy, but I'll go Wizards plus 9.5. I think that the Wizards are a good enough team to keep up with the Pacers right now. But that might be completely wrong. And I'll definitely think on that. Mathurin and Siakam are obviously the big combo there. And then the big combo is George and McCollum. Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. Because the way I'm thinking is it might be a lot closer than it is. We'll see, though. We'll see what I pick. I can't pick on that one. I can't. Hornets versus Cavs. Evan Mobley's out with a calf. That definitely hurts the Cavs here. But LaMelo Ball's out with an ankle. Colin Sexton's out. Trey Mann's out. Pretty much every point guard on the Hornets is out for this game. Yeah. Who's going to facilitate the ball? Now, you could go over on Knupple's assist here. You're going to have to play point guard. You know, you go over on Knupple's assist, that probably hits. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot of the time. Yeah, that's a really good bet. Knuckle over assists for sure. I'll be taking that. But Cleveland probably wins. You give it to the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell's top 5 player in the league right now. Without Mobley, that sucks, but they have a good enough role players to go. Jared Allen could play. He's probable. Like Wemby was probable yesterday and played phenomenal. Jared Allen could play. Yeah, I would definitely take the Cleveland Cavaliers. But to win by 11, probably. Probably just depends on how Mitchell scores 40. We'll see. Sixers versus Hawks. So Maxi's out. Joel Embiid probably won't play. He's questionable with a knee. Oubre's out still. Watford's out still. So it's going to be Quentin Grimes, Edgecombe, Drummond, Paul George, McCain versus Jalen Johnson, Okongwu, Alexander Walker's questionable with an ankle, Dyson Daniels, Ricochet, and Porzingis is always out with an illness or something. And Vit. I think I would take the Hawks. I think the Hawks is a good pick here, especially without Maxi. It's kind of like, you know, Maxi's the best, like their best player. So it's like, without him, who knows? I don't think that they beat them. Bucks versus Nets. Giannis is out with the calf, and he probably will be out until he gets he gets traded or something. Ryan Rollins, Miles Turner, Kuzma, Bobby Portis, AJ Green is out. Gary Trent Jr., Cole Anthony, Kevin Porter Jr. has been playing so good since he got back. Versus Michael Porter Jr., Nicholas Claxton, Noah Clowney. Just looking at these rosters, purely I pick the Bucks. I just like the Bucks roster more. Michael Porter Jr. is good, obviously, but Nicholas Claxton's good too. I think the Bucks just have better role players, and they probably beat the Nets. I don't see them beating. I don't see the Nets beating the Bucks. Wolves versus Kings. I'm taking the Timberwolves. Mike Conley's out, Achilles, which is awful. That's an awful way to like get injured near the end of your career. That's awful. Anthony Edwards is questionable still. And then with Julius Randle playing as good as he is. And then Rudy Gobert coming off a good game against the Warriors. Dennis Schroeder and Sabonis is out. You probably like Rudy Gobert. So, like, it would suck to, like, you could call Rudy Gobert against the Warriors. Keegan Murray. Is Keegan Murray even playing? Yeah, he is. Okay, Keegan Murray's like would be their center unless Precious is their center. I like Rudy Gobert against Keegan Murray. Rebounding wise, that is. Russell Westbrook's playing great. It's kind of just like 3. I'd take the Wolves by 12. Yeah. I like Rudy Gobert over on rebounds with Knuckle over on assists. Here, I'm going to lock that in real quick so I can just save it in the brain. Over rebounds. Where's Rudy Gobert? Over 10.5 rebounds? Yeah, they could. I don't think that the Timberwolves are going to. They could blow them out. They definitely could. I don't know. That might not be a good bet. I like Knuckle's assists more than I like that. That's for sure. Then I'm thinking about it. Yeah, see, Knuckle's assist is only at 4.5. That's a steal. That is an absolute steal. I will take that all day. He's for sure, dude. Who else is gonna handle the ball? Who else is gonna handle the ball for him? I don't know. Probably Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges probably gonna have triple double. Wouldn't be surprised. Take the Wolves. Don't bet on Rudy Gobert's rebounds unless you want to. That's just something I picked up on. They could blow him out though. That's kind of why I didn't do it because who knows? Pelicans versus Bulls. Everyone on the Bulls is looking active except for the Sumo still, and Kevin Huerter's questionable. So Kevin Huerter probably won't play against the Pelicans. Josh Giddey and Kobe White are a really good guard duo. I really like watching them. I think Josh Giddey is super entertaining. Josh Giddey is one of my favorite players in the league. I like the triple-double guys. I like the guys that do everything. Josh Giddey's one of them. Trey Murphy, Derek Queen, Sadiq Bey, Jeremiah Fears. Zion's questionable with an abductor. He hasn't played. And Jordan Poole was playing, which is good fun. I like watching Jordan Poole too. This will probably be a game that I watch, which is kind of weird. It's like, why would you watch the Pelicans Bulls? It's like players I like, I like Josh Giddey. I like Jordan Poole. Zion is so sad, man. He's just sad because he's so good, and the fact that he just cannot play, a season healthy. He can't do it, and it just sucks because he could be really good. He could be really good. Now he's on the Pelicans, but he could be a monster on the Pelicans. And he is a monster when he plays. But it's just like when he plays is the question. I really would have liked Jordan Poole and Zion there, but we'll probably never see that duo that much, which really sucks. Not that it would have been a good duo anyways, but yeah, it probably would have. So this is Bulls versus Pelicans. I'll take the Bulls. I like the Bulls here. I'm kind of looking like, is there anyone that could go crazy? Probably like Buzelis could probably go nuts. They don't really have anyone to guard Buzelis. Trey Murphy. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Bulls against the Pelicans. I'll take the Bulls. Lakers versus Suns. Devin Booker's questionable and Dylan Brooks is questionable with an Achilles. I just think with that being said, and Austin Reeves being out with a calf, you have Luka, Ayton, Rui, Jake, LeBron, Smart, Hayes, Dalton. I think you just picked the Lakers based off of Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks being out. It's kind of like kind of a thing there. Okay, Isaac's ready whenever. Let me finish these NBA games. Warriors and Blazers. Now, the Blazers are a really good team. The Blazers beat the Thunder, but that's whenever they had everyone healthy. They had Drew Holiday healthy. Drew Holiday was playing very good before he got hurt. Donovan Clingan is questionable with the leg, but they still have Danny Shade, Sharp, Kamara, and Grant. If Donovan Clingan wasn't injured, you could take Donovan Clingan. But I'm going to go Warriors. Curry just had an amazing game against the Wolves. Moses Moody is playing great for them. The Warriors have such a unique offense. And I've been saying that every episode of the podcast. They have such a unique offense. They're very good. I'll take the Warriors here. Even if they do trade Jonathan, what's his name? Jonathan Kuminga. Listen, you trade Jonathan Kuminga, he's going to be a monster on any other team he goes to, especially if it's a bad team. You put Jonathan Kuminga on the Pelicans, he probably goes nuts, to be honest, because he's getting all these shots. He's going to get a lot of shots up. He'll probably go crazy. He's just a bucket, dude. He's going to go crazy. Yep, so I'm going to pause this, and we will be back whenever we have our second guy. My picks, I didn't really make any, but for the YouTube thumbnail, I will put it there. Knupple's definitely going to be on there for sure. I love the 4.5 assist. He'll probably get 5. There's a good chance he gets 5. He's probably going to play point guard. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I'll pick a couple good ones and put on the thumbnail. Knuple assist for sure. That will be the NBA episode. Thank you guys for watching or listening. See you in the NFL segment.